last class interface, how to make the user interface control, right? How to import the files, what is a PSD file importing and all, right? Fine. And we have seen like how to control the user interface, how to import the files, how to deal with PSD, how many kind of importing are there, what are those, and what is the difference. This is what we have learned in the last class, right? So let's grow from there. Once you bring the footage in your project panel, then it is a time to make a composition. Now the topic, how to make a composition in After Effects. How to so it could be done in 2-3 different way. 1, 2, 3. The first method, drag the footage once it brought into the composition project panel and drop inside your timeline. First method, over. This is the fastest method to make a new composition, by just drag the footage and drop inside the timeline, and a composition is made. You can see the compositions fit to the screen, right? First method, over. What is the first method? Drag and drop into the timeline. Drag and drop in timeline. The second method, drag and drop in the composition panel. Second method, over. Now the third method, drag the footage and drop in the composition icon in the project panel. Now the next, select the footage, go to the file menu and make a new composition from the selection. Okay. Finish. So these many methods you have seen, it makes a composition from the footage size, but now the next composition method is to make a composition with predefined sizes. Now again the composition can be done in two different manners. So this is predefined and user defined. Till now what are the things we have learned? That is footage size. So till this footage size. Now this is predefined and user defined. So inside the predefined we do have a lot of options. You can go for like compositions, new composition, control N is the command where you can also make a new composition with predefined sizes. All the sizes are. What is the command? Control N, where it is composition panel. What is the topic? How to make a predefined sizes. Composition, menu and new. Hotkey CTRL plus N. So it make a composition with already predefined sizes. Now the next method is the same, and you can feed the number and get it done. So if you want to make something like 500 pixels by 250 or 300 pixels, then it is user defined custom size. So user defined size is technically called as custom size. And inside the predefined, a lot of predefined sizes are there, like television size, film size, video size, right? 1, 2, 3. So often use sizes are this. Widely used TV size is PAL and NTSC, Indian Broadcasting and US Broadcasting. Now film widely used 2K size, but you can switch to 4K too. And video again of different type, HD, full HD, etc. Right, so they are like predefined sizes. You can also choose anything and get it. So the time we choose any sizes, it will come up with its frame size, width, height, FPS, duration. So these are like technical information regarding a new document. This is the width, this is height, and the length is called duration, and FPS means per second how many frames you are going to show. Frame per second, FPS. Duration, it is the length. Width and height, it is clear to you. And all the things are calculated with pixel unit. No centimeter, meter and all that, because screen always calculated in pixels. Screen calculation always happen in pixel format. Duration is the length, FPS is the frames per second. That means per second, if you are running 25 frames, then 25 FPS, 30 FPS, 50 FPS, like that. So per second, how many images are shown, that is called FPS. Now one technical terms left out, that is start frame. What is the option? Start frame. start frame. This is the name only, name in the form of number, in the form of number to the first frame, to the first frame. What is the name we are giving in the form of a number to the first frame? That is decided by start frames. It is no relation with the length. Length is decided over here. So now got to know, yes, to the first frame we can have to put a name, and that is defined by here. We can put the name 10, 20, 30. Then expect that the next number will be decided, and the next number will be decided. The next number name will be decided. Fine then. So we have understood what is the basic inputs to be required to given to the software to make a new document. A new document required this much of information to be passed out from the user to the software. And all the things are predefined, but if you need to go for user defined, then this much of information has to be given up. Fine. So it could be put inside your settings, composition setting, and you can switch to any predefined sizes. All the things are fixed up here, and we can also change it up by custom design. Right. So for Indian broadcasting television, PAL D1, European standard NTSC D1, film size 2K 2048 pixels by 1556. Technically it is called 2K. It is a standard film resolutions for worldwide. But yes, IMAX goes with 4K and all. Now HD movies, there are two widely used sizes like full HD 1920. Yes. यहाँ पे स्टेज रेडी किया जाता है और फुटेज को यहाँ पे जब आप रखोगे ना तो वो कम दिखेगा, पूरा नहीं दिखेगा. So your stage is big. So let us take an example. We have made a composition of film size 2K size, that means 2048 1556. This is the size of a film size, and the shoot has been done in PAL size, that is 720 by 576. This is the size of a Indian broadcasting size. And if you take this file and put over here, then it will occupy only 720 576 screen. It will be blank. Now if you stretch it and fit it up, then the quality will get lost. Fine. So what happens if we have suited something and we have placed somewhere, then it will occupy the lesser space, or if we have suited big and we are placing in less, then we can see only limited area of this. So that will be the consequence result, and forcefully if we fit the things, then the quality loss will happen. Fine. And so we have understood now what is the predefined sizes and which size to be taken when. So this is full HD size 1920 by 1080, which is always used inside the video track. So for web hosting and all things, full HD 1920 1080. So this is the pixels width and height of a single image. So minimum 3-4 standard sizes to be get remembered, and a lot of other but widely used: PAL, NTSC, Full HD, 2K, 4 sizes, television, film and video sizes. Now in HD also half HD and a lot of HD are there. That is one part. Then next, inside whenever you bring a footage on the composition panel, like project panel, you can find the width and height.
With that we can find the what is the resolution.
So like the before options has been done up. Like to while you are making a new composition, you don't need to worry about this because the software will make it automatic. There are four processes are there, so which you can have to make a composition with footage size, and these are this 1, 2, 3, 4. So this process will make a composition with the footage size. But then fifth process we are learning where the user will define the size of the composition, and before process are footage size process 1, 2, 3, 4. Here the composition will be done through the footage size, and here there are two other predefined, which is already defined by the software, and the other one is custom size, where user will tell what is the size of the composition. So to make a new composition, we have seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 methods are there to make a new compositions. Is it okay? Widely use the sizes and all the things are written on the screen. And to make a new composition, minimum informations to be given to the software is this: width, height, FPS, duration, and start frame number, and a little technical options that is called pixel aspect ratio. This will decide the look of the presentation, either it is wider or square in format. If you are using a pixel aspect ratio 1:1, then the info look on the screen is square. If you are using a pixel aspect ratio 2:1, that means width double, height single, the presentation becomes wider. So you got to know there are two type of pixel aspect ratio. What are those? 1:1 and the other one widely used 2:1. This is technically called as anamorphic pixel. Anamorphic pixel. So the artist should define which pixel aspect ratio to be get used on the presentation. If it is a film, then yes, we can go for anamorphic pixel aspect ratio. And most of the things are the square or the user like predefined pixel aspect ratio are there, but for the film, yes, anamorphic to be get used. So we have understood now what is pixel aspect ratio, what is widely used, what is anamorphic, what is square, right? Pixel aspect ratio means the width and height division, width to height divides, then it make a ratio that is called pixel aspect ratio of a single pixels. Now the next, there is a technical term inside a new window that is called resolution. In Photoshop we have learned about the resolutions, right? What is resolution in Photoshop? Number of pixels per square area is called resolution in Photoshop. How many pixels are there in a square area, that is decided in Photoshop what is called resolution. But in After Effects, the resolution decide in which quality you want to see on the screen of the practicing size or the project working time. In which quality you want to see on the screen, that is decided by the resolution. On screen means not in final screen but in project screen. So now we got to know what is the difference between Photoshop resolution and After Effects resolution. Here the quality decides, display quality this is. Here final quality. That means in After Effects always the final quality is always good. Only the display quality we are defining through the resolution, and it is a options which is asked in the first window itself whenever we are making a new compositions. So what we are scribbling over here, what are the property of a composition in After Effects? Question over, and the answer was width, height, FPS, duration, start frame name, pixel aspect ratio and resolution. These are all the properties which is having in a new composition. And a user should define all the things to start up a composition. And at the end, the software will ask what should be the background color. What should be the background color. Done. So almost like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different inputs the user need to give to create a new composition. Fine then. So here you can see now first frame name and the duration. There are two numbers displayed over here, and this number is different. Duration decides your length. Start frame decides the name. It is just a name in the form of a number, so that the end frame will decide. Fine, everything okay? So let us move to the film size 2K. Here you can see by default the pixel aspect ratio is square. Though we made a composition with film size, but the lookup is square. Never a film look like this. Does it okay? Film always in wide scope. The presentation looks square in form. Then how to convert the presentation to a wide screen? Question done. Answer. Select the composition either here or here. Switch to the composition menu. Rather than going new composition, switch to composition setting and find the same window pop up once more. But it is not for new, it is for the existed one. Get the presentation aspect ratio to turn from square to anamorphic. Get the job done. And still no reaction over here, but you can see the reaction start up coming over here. It looks wider. And to see the things on the composition wider, switch to a button in the right down corner to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 number button. Toggle pixel aspect ratio from square to anamorphic. Now the rest of the things are on your screen. This is the presentation of a film presentation. The size of the document remains the same. Only the things get changed, the pixel aspect ratio, and the whole presentation gets changed. Is it okay? So we got to know now what is pixel aspect ratio and what is its importance, how to make the composition to change after the composition made, and how to create a new composition with fresh. The two hotkey on your screen, one is Control N, another is Control K. Control N is to create the composition, Control K is to modify the composition, right? And the things could be changed, the name, all the settings could be changed, and the background color and all. So we have understood now how to make a new composition in various way, and all the things are written on a screen. So let us move to the composition making with number of files. Till now we have seen how to make a composition with a single image. Let us see how to make a composition with multiple images. What is the topic now? How to make a composition with multiple footage. In one footage, it's easy, drag and drop in the composition, drag and drop over here, drag and drop over here. But the time you are taking multiple footage and you are dragging and dropping in the composition panel, the software will ask you a few questions. What are those? You are taking single composition, but you have taken this many things. Do we need to make a single composition, or for every one composition? Multiple compositions. If we are switching to a single composition, then the software is confused with this many number of file sizes. Again, the software will ask you which footages sizes will be the final, because you have taken number of files. Then the software asks you the third question. If it is still, then how many seconds it should display on the screen? And we are defining 2, 3, 4 as if like always. Just go for OK. Job is done. Now the screen is displayed all the images, but in which format? One below to the other. If you switch off one or to the other, then you can see the next image and next image. Below it is presented. But rather than presenting below to each other, if we need the composition has to be made one after the other, then what to do? What is the topic going on? How to make a composition with multiple files. And the first method is done, and we have seen the strength of the first method and the limitation of the first method. The strength, all the files are placed one after the other, one below to the other. And the limitation, it has not been placed one after the other. So now the requirement what? How to make a composition with multiple files where the arrangement should be done one after the other. And switch on to this button. Job is done. 2 seconds. What happened on your screen? First, second, 500 images within one click could be placed for making the final presentation. Only 2 buttons to be get clicked. What is to be done? Drag the footage, drop over here, switch to the overlap and the sequence layer and go for OK. Finish. Now, as per the requirement, it has been come up like one after the other. It is showing. It's very nice. 2 seconds staying on the screen. But the limitation what? It is creating a jump, sudden jump. Slowly it is should to mix with each other. Then how to do this? Does it clear? Problem, solution, problem, solution. Select all the things, drag and drop. After sequence, go for overlap. Job is done. And see the things. So your presentation turns into the sequence order, one after the other, and get the things to be done. Okay. After this class. Fine. So you got to know how to make the presentation one after the other with a very sequential order in a fade in, fade out process. Only 3 buttons and the whole presentation done. What is the command? Drag the things, drop over here, switch to the sequence and overlap. If overlap, then what is the duration of overlap? It should be smaller than the presentation duration of each one. Go for OK. Right? How to make multiple files turn into compositions presenting on the screen one after the other. Right?
Instead of single that one, there is multiple options. If you go for that,
Which one?
instead
This
of
one,
single.
single. If you go for this, then the software understands each one should be turned into its individual composition. So as if the name, the okay, so what is telling, I can able to make a composition with one file only. Multiple files, multiple compositions. But
It will not appear together.
separately, because we are asking to the software, get it done separately. So he is making it separately. And we cannot ask the software, get it single. Then all the file will be in a single file. If single file, then one below to the other or one beside to the other. If it is off, then one below to the other. If it is on, one beside to the other. If one beside to the other, it is to be done cut to cut or mix up. If cut to cut, off it up. If mix up, overlap it. Right? So the presentation can be done in this way. So how to make a group of footage to get arranged one after the other in After Effects within 2 clicks. It may be an image, it may be a video, it may be anything. Fine then, so we have understood now how to generate new compositions. The option is there directly by drag and drop. If we forget to do this, drag and drop, go to the file, ask to the software new composition from selection. The same option appears, and which already you have written on the last one. New composition from the footage, from the selection. Right? So the topic was very clear how to make a new composition, and it is done now. Once the composition is done up, the next event. Let us see. A composition is drag and drop. Then the composition's view could be maximized by the tilt button and control backslash. What is the command? Control backslash. Two commands we are using here now. What are those? One is tilt button to make it full screen, and the next is control plus backslash. What it does, let us see. Control backslash, full screen without menu bar. Now the next, go for like the options greater than, smaller than. To zoom in, zoom out. This is greater than, zoom. Zoom out. Right? How to zoom in, zoom out. And the same job could be done by control plus and control minus. Same topic. Now the same thing could be done by the next way. If you are using normal mouse, then yes, control or like only the middle scroll will carry it. Third method over. And the fourth, hold the control and zoom. So right, okay, hold the alt and zoom. It will exactly zoom the pixel you select. So next, you have understood now how to get a zoom in third, fourth way. Middle scroll. And the next, alt middle scroll. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 way to get zoom in, zoom out. Now the fifth way. If you have done a number of zoom, then alt your question mark. It will make you to switch into the fit to the screen. Next, only question mark, 100% view. Next, alt plus either you can write backslash or question mark. Fit to the window. And if we are switching to only question mark or slice, 100% view. Right. So we are now into the screen controlling. How to control the screen. If your screen is under your control, then a lot of job will be tried. So how to jump into the processor screen? Jump. On this space bar. Let it try. Fit to the screen by alt. Your question mark. Fine, play. So, okay. So we have learned few things about the composition panel. Zoom in, zoom out, because this is always required. Next, a lot of details are there. Let us switch to a little advanced format now. How to do editing in After Effects. Once the footage comes, you need to find the right frame to do the work. Now the topic, how to do the edit in After Effects. Editing means choosing the right frame. Choose the right frame. Once the footage come up, then just inside your composition project panel you can find all the details about the footage. What is the width, what is the height, how many frames are there, at which FPS it is moving, what is the name of the file, what is the color profile. All the metadata in a thumbnail, it is available. Now, drag the footage and drop inside the composition panel. It will make a composition with the footage size. Play the things. This is the fastest way to make the composition with the footage size. Now, as if the topic is editing, so let us see how to do the editing inside the footage window. Now, the next window we are seeing footage window. Footage. How to open the footage window? Just have a double click on the footage, then it will open in a separate window, and that is called footage window. Either it could be double click or else press the enter button. Which enter? Non-key, numerical keypad enter. It will open the footage window. You know it's okay. What is the topic? How to edit a footage in footage window and how to open the footage window. Two different ways. Either double click on the footage or else hit the numerical keypad enter button. It will open the footage inside the footage window. Once the footage is open, now it is a time to navigate. Home. What is the button? Home. We can able to reach to the start of your file. Next, end. You can go to the last of your footage. To hotkey over. So check. Home, end. Right. Home, end. Next. Once footage is open on bigger screen, then yes, play the movie. Space bar. Stop the movie. Play, stop. Space bar. Next frame, page down. Previous frame, page up. To go to the before frame and after frame. Right? How to move to the particular frames. Because you are going to work on frames, so the frame has to be under control. How to move? Page up, page down, page down, page down, page down. Okay? Home, end, page up, page down, page up, page down. Now the navigation starts. Home, end, page up, down. Done? Select home, down. Now shift page up, page down. 10 frame ahead. Shift. So they are like minimum keys which required to start the editing. Once you find the right frame, then the job to do the action. And what is the action? Get the in point mark. What is the mark? In point mark. Here the footage starts up. Now move to the next, and if you feel like it is to get close, yes, at the end point. So you got to know now how to set the in point, how to set the out point, how to navigate the frames, how to go to a particular frame, how to go to the start of your movie, how to go to the end of your movie. Everything is under your control. Now we have seen how to make this set in point and out point. How to do this by automatic key. Alt close bracket. Alt open bracket. Set the in point. Open bracket. Set in. Alt. Set out. Set in point, set out point. Get the footage to go for action. Is it okay? Now the next. Once footage is ready to go for the action part, now drag the footage and drop inside the composition. It will allow the footage to show on the screen only that much of area, how much it has been edited in the footage. So we have understood now how to handle the editing feature inside After Effects. Editing. So once you find the right frame, then a lot of action will be done. Is it okay? So the summary of the class, what you got to know is how to make a new composition, how many methods are there, what is the property of a new compositions, and where from we can able to make a new composition, how to open a footage and how to make a new composition from number of files. And the next, what is the editing feature of After Effects and how to edit a footage with all the basic hotkeys. That's it for the day. And check to make a new composition and drag and drop number of footages. Does it fitting or not? Then we'll see in the next class how to do the first composition with multi-layer in the next class. Right?